Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you so much for having me.
And congratulations on your new EP, which came out on Friday the 13th. Is
Yes.
that a good omen?
That was intentional.
Good luck for this new album. So it features 5 original songs, the follow-up to Brutal Pop 1,
Yes.
which was released in 2019. You've been credited with inventing this unique genre that's called Brutal Pop.
Yeah.
How would you describe it to someone who's never heard it?
It is pop songwriting, meaning it is 3-minute songs, a great hook, great chorus, but still elements of metal, you know? For me, pop was a bit too tight, like pants that don't really fit. And I felt like sometimes the emotion is so strong, you have to scream something out, or you have to bring a little bit of spice into it. So that's Brutal Pop.
So Brutal Pop, let's take another listen to a track off your album. This one's called Wave. Take a listen. So that's Wave off Sun's latest EP, Brutal Pop 2. Now, you not only wrote and produced the song Wave, you also co-directed this music video and designed the costumes. You're really involved at every stage of this creative process. Why is it important for you to, dabble in everything?
It is kind of necessary for me because I want to make music videos that would be too expensive if I wouldn't do it first off. It is a very DIY project, and I'm kind of a DIY deluxe person, so I like to draw something and I have a vision, like a key visual, and then we kind of make the music video around it with my team. But I always want to, make a costume or do something because it is my baby. Brutal Pop is my own kind of pop, so I really want to make sure that every aspect of it is Brutal Pop.
So Brutal Pop from A to Z. Now, you really have this distinctive feature that you can hear in your songs. So you're known for your growl, your scream. So this is a very technical vocal technique. How did you discover that you had this growl inside you?
It is kind of a tragic story, but it is a beautiful story. When I was 13, I lived in the Black Forest in Germany, and I got myself into a situation where I had to defend myself against someone in the forest. And at some point, that scream just came out of me and actually lifted the person up and just scared the person, and I scared myself, and I had the time to just run off. So it is something tragic, but at the same time I discovered such a powerful thing that I got obsessed with it. I was like, why am I able to make these sounds? What's wrong with me? And then I started to experiment, go from band to band. And at the time in the Black Forest, I was 13. I was playing with people who were like 25 years old because there weren't any people who would play rock. And I got into metal at that point.
And it sounds very cathartic to be able to scream like that. Could someone like me learn how to scream like that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
Is there a technique?
There are different techniques. I do the scream that's really loud, but there's also something called vocal fry and fry screaming that you can learn, and that's really, yeah.
Okay, I might ask you for a lesson
yes.
afterwards. Now, what's interesting, and you mentioned that your music really draws from metal, which has quite a dark reputation, and yet you perform under the name Sun, which is quite sunshiny. What's the story behind that?
That is basically, it's the symbol of my dad. It's a bit tragic. It's a tragic story, but it's when I was 5, I chose the sunflower as a symbol on my dad's tombstone.
Okay.
And in 2017, I think, his grave got removed, which sometimes happens. And I thought, how could you pay an homage to someone who has nothing left? There's no trace of that person left in the world. And I thought, if I call myself Sun, then I have to talk about my dad, and then he lives on.
It's a beautiful way to pay tribute to him.
Thank you.
So you've got lots of feathers in your cap on top of being a singer-songwriter. You're also a live performer and an actress. You acted in French director Tony Gatlif's film Tom Medina, and that film was part of the official selection at the 2021 Cannes Film Festival, where you performed with the Gypsy Kings, if I understand correctly.
Yes.
Tell us about that experience.
That was crazy because we did the red carpet, And after the red carpet, we did a gig of the music of the movie. And there was Nicolas Reyes and the Gypsy Kings, and I was with my two musicians. And we played just the songs of the movies, and Tony Gatlif was on the side of the stage and was kind of watching us and shouting at us, because that's the way he is, and directing us still from the side of the stage. And it was a great crossover. And I was very proud, because the Gypsy Kings would ask me, like, how do you scream? Is this for real? And at the end, they told me, you're a real artist. And so I felt really, really good, because I grew up with Nicolas Reyes and Volare and all that stuff.
Maybe we'll hear them screaming in an upcoming album.
Cool,
we'll know where it comes from, for sure. So on top of singing and songwriting, acting, you've also had a very rich career in the past. You were shortlisted to represent Germany at the Eurovision Song Contest. And in 2013, people who live here might be familiar with the fact that you were a contestant on the famous French TV show The Voice. You went very far in the competition. Did you learn anything from that experience that you still use today?
Yes, I learned to be professional. I learned to be pretty good in live shows and environments that are stressful. And I learned to be careful with my own image and stuff like that, more like professional things. I also learned that you should definitely always go with your gut and never listen to someone else when it comes to choosing songs, choosing what to wear, because when I was younger, I made those mistakes. I don't regret them at all. But yeah, now I know better.
Good lesson to learn from experiences like that. We're going to move on to just a couple of other bits.